how to survive a breakup. 5 stages you need to go through. In this video, we'll talk about breakups and the pain a person experiences. We'll discuss how to properly go through these stages and why. Certain mistakes should be avoided. Mistakes that can bring even more pain in the future. Before we move on to the discussion, I ask you to click the button, subscribe, and like this video so that it gets recommended on YouTube and can be seen by as many people as possible. So, at the beginning of this video, I want to talk to you about what you should not do if you're going through this difficult stage in your life. And first, don't keep track of him. If you realize that you've broken up with your boyfriend, man, or husband, and the first thing you really want to do is watch him through social media, see him somewhere, find out how he's doing, ask someone. But at this moment, a woman, for example, by finding out how he is, what he's doing, what's happening in his life, by following social media, she doesn't allow herself to experience her own emotions. She makes it even more painful for herself. She tortures herself. Every mention of him is a sharp pain, blow to the heart. Therefore, limit yourself from this pain. Understanding the fact that the breakup that happened was inevitable allows a woman not to torture herself. That is, limit any observation of your ex-man. Furthermore, don't try to remain friends. This is a kind of self-deception, the desire to be together, the desire to build some kind of relationship, possibly in a different way, but the relationship didn't work out. It didn't work out from both sides, and this leads to a kind of self-deception, but it didn't succeed. So let's at least be friends. And again, this is about causing pain to yourself and pain to your partner. That is, people don't want to be together and yet can't fully let go. Don't idealize. Whether you made the decision to break up, or even if your partner did. But at some point, when there's a lot of pain inside, the thought starts forming in your head that you made a mistake, that the breakup wasn't necessary. And this is where the idealization of what was in the relationship occurs. That is, in principle, everything was good. Well, yes, there were moments that were bad. That is, the woman is left alone, and she's afraid that there won't be another man in her life, that no one will love her. And she thinks it wasn't all that bad. In principle, others endure others, allow themselves to be treated that way, and idealization occurs. Because of this, there might be a return. The same relationships, that is, the woman idealizes, then realizes she was wrong, she returns, and often the relationships still fall apart over time. Moving on, don't blame yourself or him. If you live in this negativity, constantly blaming yourself, blaming him, the relationship, it's still, let's say, the contribution of 2 people. Both are always to blame for the breakup. That is, one didn't do something, the other didn't try, didn't say something. And from this, the whole situation arises that leads people to a breakup. So, in any case, both are to blame. You don't need to stay in this negativity. You don't need to constantly blame, for example, him. He was like this, he was like that. Or constantly blame yourself. That is, accept the fact that both of you didn't manage these relationships. Next, don't rush into new relationships. The worst thing a woman can do is try to drown out the inner pain with new relationships. Next, don't try to drown out the pain with alcohol or shopping. Anything with the word drown out is wrong when dealing with a breakup. And this, let's say, numbing of feelings, that is, to numb means to hide. In the future, it won't allow you to build happy, complete, healthy relationships. What is necessary during a breakup is to give yourself the opportunity to fully feel the emotions you are experiencing. Try to be mindful, meaning understand what emotion you are currently feeling and spend a little time with it. That is, surrender to the emotions, give in. There is no need to muffle it. There is no need to pretend that nothing happened. If you, for example, numb your feelings, pretend that nothing happened, you don't go through the stages of a breakup. It will play a cruel joke on you. You might get stuck in these stages for your entire life. That is, without going through them, you won't be able to build happy relationships in the future. Next, why shouldn't you jump into new relationships right away? Why does a person try to jump into them? We've already talked about the fear of loneliness. That is, because of loneliness, because it's scary to be left alone, whether it's a woman left alone or a man. He's scared. She's scared that there's no one nearby. And what if I'm not needed by anyone? What if I don't find a worthy man nearby? And because of this fear, The person hasn't gone through all the stages of a breakup yet, but already ready to jump into a new relationship just to avoid being alone with their emotions, feelings, and fears. Moving on. A lowered self-esteem, meaning when people break up, it's a blow to their self-esteem in any case. At this moment, thoughts can form in their head. I'm bad. I'm a failure. I'm unhappy. And so on. So all these thoughts push a person to fill this internal void quickly by finding someone to pretend that everything is fine. When a woman finds a partner, meaning a breakup has occurred, and then a new partner immediately appears in her life. At this moment, the woman thinks, I am needed. Instead of working a bit on herself, her feelings and emotions, she covers up everything that's going on inside. All those emotions, she just covers them up from above, and it seems fine, but it's not really fine. Naturally, relationships with a man that are built just to feel different won't be happy. They won't be successful because the woman hasn't gone through the stages of separation. She hasn't felt it. She hasn't healed. And now she will transfer emotions, feelings, and experiences from past relationships into these relationships further, wanting to drown out the pain with intense experiences. Well, this is when a woman goes all out, meaning she starts going at it nonstop. A person going out somewhere, nightclubs, drinking, some stressful emotions, trying to experience some intense emotions, doing something. But again, this won't help you go through what you need to experience within yourself. What are the mistakes of people who have gone through a breakup? That is, when a woman or a man is in these difficult stages. The thought arises to give a second chance. People have already come to the conclusion once that they need to break up, meaning they have already agreed. They discussed what was lacking in the relationship. They might have realized that they are different. They broke up when various feelings arose. When intense pain surfaced, internally a person thinks, it wasn't all that bad. A second chance. And often the second chance, even if given, ends the same way. After some time, and you can't escape this pain by continuing to blame yourself for everything. Women in general are often accustomed to blaming themselves for everything. And this is such an illusion of omnipotence. How can you be at fault for everything if the relationship was not just about you? There was another person involved, meaning you weren't alone. And the responsibility for the relationship not working out is shared. In any case, it involves two people, and you shouldn't internally consume yourself with blame for what didn't work out. It didn't work out well. Then it's necessary to take the needed lessons from this relationship, understand what you learned from it, experience all the emotions that arise now, and move on to new happy relationships because you've already gone through such a difficult lesson, and it will be easier moving forward. Moving forward, trying to win a man back with threats, pity, trying to win him back with threats of suicide. For example, you won't evoke any emotions from the man with this behavior of yours, except for pity, fear, and disdain. That is, he will be afraid to neglect. These are not the feelings a woman wants to evoke in a man. Next, the promise to change. Again, either you promise to change or someone promises you. All of this happens out of fear of loneliness. People don't change just like that. That is, even if at some point a person being in these strong emotions says they will be different, they won't actually be different. It's hard to change your essence. We can grow. In some aspects, develop, move forward, but you can't change your essence. And that's why it's very difficult to change. And if you make a promise or someone makes a promise to change, it's likely not going to happen. And the last mistake is making drastic decisions in the heat of the moment. So do you want to run away from yourself? And that's why you move to another city, quit, for example, a job you love or something else. But at the moment when you go through all the stages of separation, you'll realize that you've made mistakes because you love, for example, your city, or you really loved your job, and now in the new place, you're not very happy. So don't make any rash, drastic decisions. Give yourself time. Now let's talk about the stages of separation, about how women go through these stages. And the first stage is denial. In this stage, a woman is in shock, and her mind kind of understands what happened, but her feelings are frozen, meaning she is in a state of not understanding what is happening now, how to live on. It's as if the whole world around her has stopped. She doesn't understand that she is in this stage, and she still can't believe that this has happened to her. The next stage is the expression of feelings. In this stage, anger and aggression appear, and it's very important to allow yourself to be angry, to allow yourself to express aggression. If you forbid yourself from being angry at this stage, if you prohibit aggression, then you might get stuck in this stage for a long time or possibly even forever. Here, there is also self-aggression, which is when a woman blames herself very strongly. Allow yourself at this stage to let the feelings come out. If you don't do this, you might remain in this stage forever. That is, you seem to have hidden everything. Everything seems fine. You try to hide this aggression deep down somewhere, and healing does not occur for you in the future. And the next relationships you build will follow the same script that has already happened before. Next, dialogue and bargaining. This is the third stage. And in this stage, a woman starts to think about how things could have been done differently. Everything wasn't so bad. She misses it. She remembers some good moments. She wishes to bring everything back. And she finds herself, let's say, on an emotional roller coaster. She has some hopes, then everything seems bad. Gradually, she comes to realize that nothing can be changed anymore. And this is exactly the stage of depression. In this stage, a woman understands and accepts the fact that the relationship is over. In this stage, she may also have tears, and some fears may arise. She misses, she mourns, but understands that nothing can be brought back. And after this stage, after the stage of depression, comes the stage of acceptance. And at this moment, the woman starts to look around. She begins to learn to live as if anew, to live without the person who is by her side, and starts to see the world in a new way. New interactions occur, and life begins to change. At this moment, the woman heals, meaning that after going through all these stages, she reaches a point where she starts to feel happy on her own, without a man. She begins to notice the colors of life around her. She learns to find joy. But the most important thing I want to say in this video is to give yourself the opportunity to experience all your feelings. If you feel like getting angry, say that you are feeling anger and be angry. If you are experiencing aggression and want to break a plate, break it. Let your aggression out. You are making an investment in your future, because getting stuck at any stage without moving forward, you can get stuck even at the first stage. Pretend that nothing happened. Try to deceive yourself that everything is fine. And then, without going through all these stages, it's very difficult to build relationships. Then it starts to form within a person. When we hide our aggression deep down, it wants to find a way out. It wants to come out. And then this aggression inside becomes more and more, until it finds an outlet for itself. Therefore, the way you experience the moment of separation now will influence how happy your future will be. That's all for this video. This was Elisa Vardomskaya with you. I hope for your likes and subscriptions. Write in the comments what you would like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell. Goodbye.